Hi, welcome to our Prompt Analysis 101 activity. Really what that 101 means is just that it's like the beginning or the introduction to it. So what I've done in this activity is I've given you 6 different writing prompts, 2 each of short answer, DBQs, that's those document-based questions, and the LEQs, or the long essay questions. And all I want you to do in this, I don't want you to write responses to any of it, you don't have enough knowledge for that yet probably, is I just want you to go through and analyze the prompts. And that means just to break it down into its component pieces. Okay, so that you get in the habit right from the get-go of looking at these prompts and saying, what do I need to do? What information do I need to write about? What type of writing? What do I need to include? Okay, that should always be foremost in your mind, because your goal is to include enough to show what you know and get the points, but not so much that you're running short on time and don't have a chance to reread and things like that. Okay, so and what you'll learn the more you do this is that the best way to prepare for things like this is, number one, to be able to analyze prompts quickly and easily, figure out what you need to do and how you need to do it. And 2 is to make sure you know your content. If you know the content and you can break down prompts quickly, then it won't matter what they ask you, because you'll be able to handle it. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to ask you to do with this activity is we're going to look for 4 different kinds of things. First one are the task verbs. Second is if they identify a time period, okay, because that's always important to know. If they identify a location or a place, right? Or maybe even a person that you need to talk about. We got to know that, okay? If they identify anything else, any other words or ideas that are important. Okay, so let's start with this. Our task verbs, those are the easiest ones. Our first writing prompt here, identify and explain one piece of historical evidence that would support source 1's evaluation of Peter the Great's approach to governing. All right, so that's our prompt. First of all, our task verbs, that's pretty easy. That's just identify and explain. Okay, so those are the 2 things I got to do. Is there a time period? No. Right? Actually, I'm going to say NA, not applicable. There's no time period involved. A location or a place? No, but I do know that I'm talking about Peter the Great's Russia. So I do need to be able to talk about Peter the Great's Russia. Right? I know that I have to look at, source 1, and I have to identify the author's claim. Okay? So I have to know what he thinks about how Peter the Great governs, or what she thinks, as the case may be, right? About how Peter the Great governs in order to be able to answer this question. And then I have to be able to find other evidence, right? So I have to have historical evidence in support of their claim. All right, so that's all I want you to do. That short and sweet. You're welcome to type it. I'd encourage you to get in the habit potentially of handwriting things if you have a printer. We are, this year at least, going to be taking the exam paper and pencil. After this year, I think they're moving AP World to computerized testing, but not this year. Okay, but that's all I want you to do is just go through, and that short and sweet. So you're not writing responses to any of the prompts. You're just identifying key information that you're going to have to attend to as you're writing. Ultimately, we'll get into how do I write a thesis, right? How do I analyze documents and things like that. So I don't want you worried about that stuff. Right now I want you just focused on how do I break down prompts. So like I said, 2 pages, 6 prompts total, and then 1 question at the end. So just asking, what did you notice as you went through and you isolated various parts of the question? All right, if you've got questions, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in class.